What's going on, YouTube? I decided that after watching and reading all these forums and watching video after video and trying to learn on how to make a Phantom or a DJI Phantom 2 series, whether that be the Phantom 2, the Vision, or the Vision Plus, go long range. I was trying to figure out, just from, like I said, I just read these forums and I get all of these words coming at me like RHCP, LHCP, blah blah blah, helical, you name it, and it's really not that difficult. So I'm going to show you a picture. Unfortunately, I've already put the Vision. I have a Vision Plus here that's unmodified. Well, with the exception of the transmitter, you'll see I actually bought this used, and the guy went ahead and modified the transmitter, but I got an extra controller with it. He messed up and drilled a hole right here, so I stuck a sticker over it, and he gave up on the top. So I'm actually going to modify the top of this transmitter to show you guys how I wound up modifying my Vision transmitter, and I'm going to start with this, and then we'll move on to the repeater, which you can find these mods anywhere online. He did go ahead and modify this repeater. This is kind of what you'll end up looking like. But I happen to have an extra repeater, this one here, that is unmodified, so I'll be able to go through that with you guys, which is a good thing. The only difference I'm contemplating on with the long range is the Vision Plus. This is actually version 3, but Vision Plus version 2, 3, whatever you want. It actually gets a better signal than the Vision did, just with factory antennas. You may not end up having to do anything. I'm getting a pretty good range just stock by putting this, I think this is a, I believe it's LHCP, little helical antenna from fpvcenter.com. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 turn. And I'm getting, well beyond range of video right now just doing that because I have no modifications done to the repeater. So what I'm saying is I'm probably going to end up modifying let's see, the transmitter is already done, but I'm going to modify this one to show you guys how you do it. This will be my extra one. And I'm going to modify the repeater so that I can get better range with my video. And I may end up cutting these antennas off like I did with my Vision, and that'll give me an enormous amount of range. But like I said, I'm going to see how that goes, just doing this and putting a bigger antenna on here with some boosters and stuff. And I'm probably going to be satisfied without even having to modify the antennas or cut these factory ones off like I did on my Vision. Unfortunately, I wasn't into YouTube that much at the time of doing the Vision. I should have been, because I'm going to show you guys what it looks like now. I'm just going to show you a picture because I've already put it up. Let me get on here real quick and show you. This here is what my Phantom Vision looks like, and it is a bad boy. I have been well over 2 miles with strong video feed, strong signal, with the actual aircraft itself not losing any range. What I was telling you about the doing the modification with the antennas, you'll see here that I actually cut the factory antennas off and I put these on. These are Blue Beam Ultras. I may not have to do that. And another thing with the Vision, and I can go through this, I'll probably give you guys some links. If you have a Vision, you're going to want to modify your actual camera. So you see here I actually drilled holes into the side, unhooked the factory antennas, ran it up through the little dampers here, put my little ports, and put my own antennas on there. And like I said, I'm getting well over 2 miles. Let me show you this transmitter. This is what we're going to end up looking like pretty much with the Vision setup, Vision Plus setup that I'm going to teach you guys how to do. It's not very clear. I won't focus that well. Let's see. Let's see. I can send pictures, but you see, it looks like a freak of nature, but it's a bad boy. Like I said, well beyond 2 miles. So anyhow, but I figured why not go ahead and get started, give everybody a walkthrough of how to do a modification to a Phantom 2. This is going to be where you have a 5.8 gigahertz controller and 2.4 gigahertz video feed. So any of the P2 series should work fine. Like I said, the only difference is you're going to modify the camera with the vision, the actual camera itself. I'm sorry, I have a cold. And you might want to cut the factory antennas off with the Vision Plus. The antennas are actually facing down on the camera itself. You get a lot better signal, so I won't have to modify the antenna on the Vision Plus camera. And I probably won't have to modify these antennas. I'm going to see how much range I get. If I get 2 miles or even 1.5 miles, I'm just going to leave it. But either way, alright, well, let's get started. Okay, what you're going to need to do to modify let's say the materials that you're going to need first to do your transmitter mod, and there's plenty of videos on here that are going to be way better than me. Let me see who this is. Let me get back to you on this. Alright friends, I apologize for that. I'm going to try to talk a little bit quieter now because I was afraid that was going to happen. My wife and kids are in the bed and my voice is, I'm kind of sick right now, so it's just kind of radiating through the house here. But it was a good thing anyways, because I forgot a couple of the materials you were going to need, so it worked out pretty good. And I'm sorry for this ghetto setup I have here, working on the air hockey table. I have a tripod. I don't have a bottom to the camera to mount it on there, so I'm going to have to zip tie it to it if I actually do that. I was going to try to do this, you know, holding the camera at the same time. Maybe I can get some better shots and stuff. And I may not be able to finish this setup because, like I said, this guy cut this antenna off, and on my other one that I modified, I actually had to use a washer. I don't have a washer. I found a little small lock washer here. May or may not work, so, but either way. Alright, materials. You're going to need a small Phillips head screwdriver. I'm not even sure what size this is. Just make sure it fits the 4 screws that are on the back of the controller here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. And another modification you guys may want to do, I'm probably not going to do it to this one. I did it to my Vision controller, is you can buy a lever kit to put right here, and it will make it so you can control the camera via a dial versus having to do it, you know, with the phone. The newer version controller comes with a wheel on the side already, so I don't really have anything to sync this extra controller up to. I'm just doing this strictly for purposes of showing you guys. But anyways, you're gonna need the controller, obviously. You're gonna need the screwdriver. I recommend getting some goop, marine grade. It's some great stuff. This stuff is awesome. You can put on connectors and things like that, and it makes sure it won't turn loose. It basically is like a silicone that you can squeeze out of a pack. I just like it. And the washer, obviously. A Dremel tool with a cut-off disc. A paper towel. Maybe. May not have to have it. And I can't remember what size RP SMA female, which is odd because it has the point coming out, if you can see that. Focus. But RP SMA is backwards from SMA, so what you think would be male is actually female. So you need RP SMA female to UFL, which looks like this right here, if it'll focus. Let's see. Focus. Come on. Come on. Focus. There you go. Like that. I believe this is a 6-inch. This is a 7-inch, and this is a 9-inch. I know I don't need the 9-inch. This 6-inch is a little bit more thick, heavier duty cable. I can't remember if I can deal with that or not. This here is a more of a floppy, cheaper type cable, but you know, it all works the same. But anyhow, that's all you're gonna need. So let's get started. And I'm gonna try to do this with one arm. Not sure if that's even gonna be possible, but basically what you need to do is take out the 4 screws. 1. And just skip this crap if you already know what I'm doing. I mean, you don't have to watch me. I'm definitely not left-handed. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch the camera over to this hand and see if I can do this. Come on. This screwdriver gets on my nerves. If you don't really bear down on this tip here, it sinks into it, but I think it got that one. There. Good gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Let me set this down for just a second. Enjoy the view. I'm basically just undoing those 4 screws that I showed earlier. This is when tripods come in handy. Turn it over. Dump the screws out. Got a good white surface, so I'll be able to see them. Just don't lose them. There we go. Put them in one spot. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so basically I just removed 1, 2, 3, and 4. And wow, the cover separates fairly easily. It doesn't do that on the, when you have the factory antenna there, you have to kind of slide it up and away, I think, up here in this area. But be careful, you have connectors right here that are connected for your batteries and USB ports on your Vision Plus. See the back here, it's connected to the board. So basically you can see, you just unplug this little connector here and then unplug that connector there, and the back will come completely off. Let me lay this down again to do that. To unplug it, you just simply give them a little pull and they come right out. And then voila, you have 2 halves of a transmitter. You have this half, which was the cable that runs to the batteries here, and this is your USB port running to the board here inside the controller. Alright, now next process that you're going to want to do, this guy, like I said, he already removed this antenna from the factory. There was originally an antenna running here with a cable fed down through here that came and connected onto this little mini UFL connector right here. You see he's already scraped all the glue and stuff away. That's good. They put a lot of glue in there. You're going to have to basically just get you a... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Hang on. They put a lot of glue in there. You're basically just going to have to take a razor blade and scrape until you get all that glue off. You want to make sure you get it all off that little connector so that you can plug a new one on. But that's whenever this cable here is going to come into play. Basically the general idea, and it's hard to do, that's why he went ahead and drilled a hole here, and you can do that if you want to. I just don't want to do it that way. I personally think it looks better coming out the top. You just want to basically mount this cable up here, feed the cable down through the bottom, and mount it right here onto that just by snapping it down. Then what you're going to do is take some of this goop and put it on this connector here, basically like they did from the factory, except it wasn't goop. And make sure that doesn't come back loose up here at the top. And you're going to want to make sure that you're going to want to get you like an Omni antenna. Screw it down on this thing here to find out where the antenna stops at. Make sure you leave that much thread sticking out of the top of the controller, and tighten this. Well, I'll try to guide you through this, but like I said, this is ghetto, and he's already done this and this, and there's other videos. I think Ben7 has some good videos that do this kind of stuff. If I confuse you, but the general idea is to make this stick up, and you can pretty much figure out the way that works by tightening this nut up against this nut in between two pieces of plastic. But like I said, you may have to use a washer, but I believe this washer, which is a lot washer, is too fat. It's not going to work, so I'm probably going to have to pick up tomorrow in doing this, but I'm going to go ahead now and show you what I'm talking about as far as mounting this or connecting this connector here. Let me just see which cable I want to use though. Let's see, does this one do better for me? Mighty long. This is the 8-inch connector, and if you use it, then you're going to have to bend it around and nah, I think we better stick with about a 6-inch connector. I believe this is 6 inches here. Let's do a comparison. I'm going to lay this cable down against this here handy dandy little measuring tool. Looks like we're at about 6.5 inches or so. So yeah, go with about a 6.5 inch cable. Maybe not so solid, but it's okay. Alright, let's see. And then, like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, so here we go. Take these ends off here. All of them. My wife's going to kill me. This is a work night and I'm up talking on YouTube. Who does that? This is my first YouTube instructional video, by the way. You can tell the way I blab on. And I'm sorry for the redneck accent. Lay that down there. Shake all that off. And maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I said, I don't think there's really any right or wrong way to do this. Let me think of what. Let me look at something real quick here. These here are, if you install that lever kit, you'll have it's a lever that goes down inside this. This is what will adjust your camera up and down. DJI is coming out with a new version soon that will allow you to use your own lever. Right now I don't think you can do that. My Phantom 2 Vision, I'm still running version 2.0, so I can still use my lever kit because my Phantom 2.0 version, I was able to trick it into thinking my Phantom Vision is a Vision. I mean, it's just a Phantom 2, so it's allowing me to use that, and I'm not going to upgrade it because I have no fly zones, and I mean, I don't have the no fly zones and things like that in my Phantom 2 Vision. The Vision Plus, obviously, that since this is the newest model, is completely upgraded, which is fine. I get to play with it with things like what's it called, ground station and things like that. I get to see what some of the newer features are, which is kind of neat, but I still like to have my old version 2.0 because you can do long range. I haven't slowed it down any. It's just bad. The only negative is doing this long range with 2.0 version. I accidentally, well, didn't accidentally, I had a bad battery and I was about 1.5 miles away from the house and it landed on someone's roof. Yeah, that wasn't good. But I have let me tell you about this first. Before you do anything to do with this long range stuff, go ahead and order one of these and get it coming in. It is a tag pet tracker and it mounts perfectly on the back of your Phantom. It's about $9 a month and you usually get, X amount of months free when you purchase it. Just Velcros right there to the back. This thing is awesome. It'll lead you to it if it ever goes down. It's like I said, $9 a month. You can't beat it. And it doesn't affect the Phantom any. It runs on the GSM network and GPS. It's awesome, and it has taken me to my Phantom numerous times. I crashed the Vision into the woods one night, not knowing a tree was tall, and led me right to it. Only recommendation I have for that is don't plug the home base up, because if you do, it just says it's in the home tag zone and it won't track it. Just leave the tag zone, the home base that it plugs into the wall inside, leave it unplugged all the time, and just to keep your tag tracker turned off when you're not using it. Turn it on when you want it and it'll track it no matter when. But anyhow, alright, well, I'll get back off on the things if you're not watching me. But what we're gonna do here is we're going to come in here, and I don't think this is gonna hurt anything, honestly. Maybe I'll run it up under this set of cables here. I think the best thing to do would probably be to run it. I think on my old one, I actually ended up running it through here where everything else is ran through. But it's really not necessary. It's not going to move a whole lot. So what I think I'm going to do this time is just basically just maybe run it up under here and around. Come back around here. You know what? No, we're not even going to do that. We're just going to run it straight over the top. Straight over the top. And then we'll just take some zip ties and zip tie it to these wires that are in here. But basically, just take your... This is so hard to do. Now I know why people take forever to do instructional videos on YouTube. Take it, line it up on there, make sure it's straight, give it a little push. Wow, not easy. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. You'll hear a good little snap when this thing goes down where it's supposed to be. The important thing is to just make sure that you keep it straight on there. And once again, I'm going to have to lay this down. Lay this across here. You hear it? Nice little snap. See, that's on there good now. I can pick up on this cable and it's not coming off. So it's on there good, and it looks like this once it's seated on correctly. Isn't that so? Yeah. Alright. This is the part that I was telling you. Let's see, let me go ahead and bend this cable. Actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off for tonight because I need to get to bed. But what I'm going to do is go ahead now, since I have my connector where I want it, untwist the cap, which is completely sealed on my goop. Good God. I've been fixing Christmas ornaments with this stuff tonight. But you see, it's kind of a stringy texture. Good stuff. Real good stuff. It smells good too. But take it right here on this connector here and just give it a good little squirt. It's not going to hurt anything. Take it and just, you might want to use like a toothpick or something else besides your finger, but I just use my finger. Basically just rub it in real good all around that connector and all over it, just like that. And once this stuff seals, basically you'll have to do the same thing as you did when you originally opened your transmitter. You'll have to cut it off with a razor blade. So there we go. And just, you can leak that off, or not really, just take it and wipe it on a napkin. The reason why I recommended having a napkin for this project, and it's really not necessary again, is if you end up having to cut that lip off at the top, just lay some napkins over these little, connectors and wires and gadgets here, and that'll keep you from getting a lot of funk all down in your stuff. But let me tighten this goop back up real quick. Alright, might want to go ahead and turn the connector a little bit, if it will. Turn it that way. Let's see if I have any zip ties that are small in here. I'm afraid not. But anyhow, well, like I said, I think I'm going to stop here tonight. I'll catch you tomorrow. You won't be able to tell the difference. It'll be the same video. But basically, just take you some goop, stick it down that connector real good like that there. Focus. Focus, my friend. Then don't focus. That's okay. I didn't want you to focus anyway. What's going on? Must be because this is real gold connectors. Yeah, right. Okay, well anyways. Put your stuff on there real good. Take you a small zip tie. Zip tie this wire down here, and then we'll work on this part tomorrow. But for now, we shall see you guys later. Well, what's up, guys? Alright, we've been super sick since the last video that I did, so I apologize if it's, well, you guys won't know because it's all going to be in one video, but a lot has changed in the room since then. You can see, even got a new addition to the family here. Just looking at this thing, I think, I know what I wound up doing on my Vision with my controller mod was just cutting this whole entire lip off all the way. Just cut the whole thing off where it's just one flat line across. Then, because I was looking and I was thinking I could use a washer and all this kind of stuff, but it's just not sticking enough of the of this here end out so you can put the antenna on. This is like the washer I was putting on there. So what I'm going to do is take a Dremel, cut this off, and cut this off on both sides, and then I'm going to take this washer, put it on the end of this, and stick it back up in the hole here. The washer will keep it from pulling through, and I will put some of the goop or whatever on it and let it sit. But also in the meantime, what I decided I was going to do, which is going to make this job twice as hard, was I decided to go ahead and get a lever kit so I could show you guys how to install that as well. So anyhow, I'm going to cut the camera off and cut these ends off real quick, and I'll get back to you in just a second. Alright, wow. No wonder it's such a pain in the butt to modify your controller. There are ways, if you look at other videos, that people do it where they leave that notch up there somehow and they're able to do it. The way that I finally figured this thing out was way more difficult than what I thought. I ended up having to obviously take the flat washer, put on there just a regular size flat washer. By the way, these are 11/32 inch nut drivers that you use for this, so I guess that would be the size of the hole or so that you need. But anyways, you're gonna have to take a Dremel with your grinding in on it right here, and you're going to have to basically notch out up into here a little bit over, you know, just notch up into the actual housing of the unit itself. See how I went up, kind of up, over, down, and back, so that this washer can go up a little bit farther so you get more of your thread showing. If you didn't do that, if you tightened it down really tight, if you were able to do that, you may could get enough threads, but you want to make sure you have enough threads that your antennas work. And you're going to need to do the same exact thing on the other side. So, I did it. I put it together to make sure it was going to work, and it worked fine. So, next project, or next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, back here, this washer or assembly that I've put together, and I'm going to slide it all the way down, fit it up in the groove just like this, and I'm going to put goop all over it, and I'm going to try to hold it into place as good as I can, you know, so that it sits, so that helps give me a good bond and keeps it there. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then I'm going to cut the camera off while I do it, and I will come right back after that's done, and we'll start on this this tilt lever, which is, like I said, it's a pain in the butt because you have to try to keep it lined up at the same time as putting the back on while you're trying not to bump this and all that. So it's going to be a little job. But also, FYI, if you want to have a not necessarily rechargeable, but I guess kind of rechargeable controller, you can actually take this wire. Let me think. I'm trying to remember how you do this. Okay, yeah. you'll take this cable and you'll plug it back into your board. You can actually cut these ends loose and route them out of the controller. I saw a guy do this before, that's how I know. And you can then run a USB plug out the back side, and you can use that. You can plug it in with a 5-volt power supply. It will run on 5-volt 5-volt 2 amp. So you can do that if you want to, but I'm not going to do it. I don't mind. I just stick rechargeable batteries in there. Who cares about the the new modified controller? I've got one, and it's like, who cares? You can put a rechargeable batteries in there. It does the same exact thing. But anyhow, I'll be back in a moment. Alright, we're all gooped up. As you can see, don't pick on it. Don't pick on it. I'm probably not going to give it time to set. You probably will want to. But I'm just doing this for demonstrational purposes. Like I said, I'm probably not even going to use this controller, so I'm going to go ahead and get on with the project. But I failed to mention that you're going to want to take, if you do it the exact same way I did, take your washer, your second washer that's going to be on the other side, and grind it down pretty dang flat if you can with your Dremel. Hold it with some pliers so it doesn't get hot in your fingers, and grind it down pretty thin. You're just going to want something on this back side here to keep it from, pulling through. So, anyhow, let me go ahead. Let's see. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get started with this next project. Fun. I'm going to have to figure out how to mount this this camera on this tripod, and I'll get right back. Alright, fun. Basically, the lever that I'm going to be installing is to use the 7th channel to, you can basically just do a dial on the back to control the gimbal instead of having to touch your phone. It's a really great thing, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to install. It's really not that bad, I guess. I just remember having an aggravating time with it. Basically, what you're going to do, you have 2 orange spots on here. This one's to, when you put your screwdriver in the back of your controller, you can change it from the FCC mode to the whatever else the other mode was. And this is the one that you're going to be wanting to put. It's the one on the top. You're going to basically just have to lay this. You have this thing here, and it's got a crosshair on the bottom, shaped just like the one on the controller. You're going to lay it like that. And when you take your back half of your controller and you flip it over, you're going to want to make sure that rod runs right up through the middle. But like I said, it's really aggravating, especially because now I have my 2 cables to install back, and I have to try to feed this thing in at the same exact time while not messing up the top half that I have not really let set too good. So anyhow, I guess I need to go ahead and get started on that. Let's see if I can do this on camera. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to, but we'll see. First things first, I'm going to take my little rod out. Go ahead and try to hook my cables back up here at the top. Let's see. We got this one here. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Not easy. I'm trying to do this while I'm not knocking this camera over at the same exact time. I want to make sure you guys get this on video the best you can. Like I said, I'm just reinstalling the cables at the moment. If you can't see anything, I apologize. First cable is installed, back in its location. Second cable is installed, back in its location. Now, time for this annoying rod, and you'll see why it's annoying. It doesn't want to stay up, ever. Make sure I got this on camera here. Lay it. God, I hate this thing. I'm telling you that this is one of the most aggravating jobs, I swear to God, in the entire world. Okay, basically, try to peek through the hole at the top and find your little rod there. Let's see. Oh, God. You can do it actually with your fingers. You can hold the rod and feed it into the bottom sometimes. And that may be actually what I'm going to have to end up doing. Stupid piece of junk. There's got to be a better way. I should goop it into place. That probably would help, wouldn't it? I'm a big fan of goop, aren't I? Alright, here goes nothing. I've got the rod in the hole. Lined up. Putting the controller back together. Alrighty. There's that. Straighten it up. Okay. If you can see, now you've got a little rod poking out the back. Controllers. Here's the part that I did at the top. What we're going to want to do now is turn this thing where you guys can see it. Take a grinded off washer. Lay it on the end right here very gently so that you don't push it into the controller. Kind of give it a pull. Make sure it's kind of straight. It doesn't have to be, but it helps. Makes it a little better. Put your washer on, then take your little nut and lightly, very gently, start it like so. And remember, this goop is going to hold this thing together. If you want to, you can go ahead and put the controller back together. I'm not going to. I'm going to put the screws in the controller. But anyways, take your 30-second and very, very, very lightly begin to turn. Very lightly. Until it starts to get a little tight. It's getting there. You just don't want to twist it on the inside too much. Your goop is going to be holding this thing into place for the most part anyhow. But actually mine's tightening up pretty dang tight. But anyhow, I'm going to stop it there. Then voila, you have your end. Make sure your antenna screws down. And it does, and I can actually see a gap in between the nut. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a small gap. Let's see. In between the nut and the antenna, which means that it is bottomed out, which is good. That's what you want. So, unscrew it. Then take your screws for your controller and put it back together. And sorry guys that this video has taken so long. I'm going to show you how to finish putting this 7th channel controller back together in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead now and put my 4 screws in, but I'm going to cut the camera off while I do that. Alright, got all 4 screws back together. This part is really not that hard at all. Basically, they're going to send you this little piece here with some double-sided adhesive. Put it on the side that's not got the groove in it, just like so. Take it and let's see, peel the. I'm trying to think if I need to peel the adhesive back yet first. Hang on just a moment. Yeah, you have to put the adhesive on first. Let me look at my instructions one time before I before I tell you guys wrong. Hang on. Alright, yeah. Take this piece here, and you're just gonna lay the hole. It's actually gonna lay over. It's gonna fit in there just like that. The hole is gonna go. I had to make sure before I just stuck it on there. But let me do that real quick. Go ahead and peel the double-sided adhesive off. Of course, this crap never peels off for me. Oh my God! Why? Why are you doing this to me? And guys, I apologize, like I said, for my videos being so long and drawn out, but I do these things at like 2 in the morning whenever kids are asleep and wife's asleep and nobody's going to get ill at me. So, I like to blab a lot too. Anyways, double-sided adhesive's peeled off. Just lay it down. Like so. Hold it down there for a second. Next, they're going to give you this little piece here. It's a little curvy piece. Go ahead, and they're also going to give you a little round piece. There's a hole in the top. Take the curvy piece and mash it into the top piece. Mash it into the top piece on the opposite end of the little notch here that's got a little square. Well, guess what? The square here is shaped just like the square here. So you take that square and you lay it over that square. And then simply take a little screw that comes with it, put it in the base of the little arm, like that, and you screw it down. Like that, and then voila, little arm moves freely. Every time the arm moves, it moves your gimbal. Make sure I haven't really missed any steps here to tell you guys anything. No, I haven't. And that's all there is to installing your tilt lever. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video. Like I said, next video I'll do the modification to the repeater itself, and it's not really that bad, so it shouldn't take me as long. This controller modification is just a pain in the butt. That's why the guy actually ended up drilling a hole right there in the top, which if you guys want to do that, that's fine. Just drill a hole in it. You won't have to go through any of this. Just stick it out the end and put the regular washers and stuff on there that come with it, and you won't have any issues whatsoever. But I like my stuff to come out the top. That's just me. But anyhow, hope you enjoyed my video. Give me a thumbs up, and let me know if I need to keep doing these things or not. Like I said, I'm going to get you into the stage eventually where you'll be running 2 miles from the house. So, alright, anyhow, we'll see you later. Thanks.